Gonna have to repeat that, Timbo.
Your intro music is real loud.
Destined for greatness, my name is written in stars, and I will give everything, all that I have to the cause. Fight against evil, run through the pain, battle it all, this is more than a game. I am a lion and I can't be tamed, it's how it was made, there's ice in my veins, run through it all. No matter the odds, I will answer the call, the enemy knocks on the door. Even the greatest among us will fall, but the greatest will get back up. So I won't back down, and I won't give up, and I will act now, and I will stand up. They know that I'm here for it all. Rise up, no matter what's in my way. Rise up, I will do what it takes. I will keep on fighting. I'll rise through it all. Rise up, no matter what's in my way. Rise up, I will do what it takes. I will keep on fighting. I'll rise through it all. Rise up.
No matter what it is you need, you'll find it at your local Par-Mar store. From gas to grocery, snacks, and everything else you always seem to run out of, Par-Mar stores has it. Need more savings? Download the Par-Mar app and sign up for the Par-Mar Rewards Card. You won't only see our stores in your neighborhoods, you'll see us in your neighborhoods too. We are proud to be in your town and proud to be a part of the community. Come see us at Par-Mar stores, and remember, if there's not a Par-Mar store near you now, there will be soon.
Wilson Martino Dental. Did you know that 95% of our dentists have graduated from WVU? And many former players and WVU coaches trust Wilson Martino Dental with their oral health. The Mountaineers and Wilson Martino Dental. Yeah, we do that.
And yes, we do it as well. That is Mountaineer Hardcourt Legends. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, Mountaineer Nation, to this special day. The Mountaineers have to tee it up against the Texas Red Raiders. You know, I don't like those Red Raiders. I don't know about you guys, but I'm so lucky here today for our Legends that we got Darryl Prue, Tim Kearney, and Jay West just popping in right at the time. Right on the dime, man. Looking good. Got it all going on. Yeah.
Did you just wake up, Jared?
No, listen, I've been up for a while, but long story. I'm ready to go, though.
Well, that's all right. That's a good story right there, man. So, DP, how we doing today?
I'm doing good, man. Good week. I got next week off. We got the winter break, so I'm feeling great right now.
All right, cool. What about you, Jay West?
Oh, I'm great. Doing well. Wifey's a little under the weather, so was getting her some medicine and stuff, but no, we're good to go. Good to go.
You are a fantastic husband, and I just want to say it live on the broadcast. All right, just so you know, tell your wifey you are awesome. All right, coming from the Wolfman, and of course, yeah, and we got Tim Kearney. Tim Kearney, how you doing today, sir?
I'm doing all right. I wish you would tell my wife the same damn thing.
Well, she won't believe me. I mean, you know, there's things you got to actually be nice at certain times of the year.
I try to, you know me.
All right. That's very good. Well, listen, fellas, a lot going on. 2 losses, man, from last Saturday to Monday, and we're going to get at it. But before we do, I get this. Somebody sent me this chart, and somehow that, of course, wait, let me get it up here now, that this man right here, Tim Kearney, is now 8th in blocks of all time. So our guy right here, who wore the mask, who had the winning shot against Virginia Tech, he is number 8 all time in blocks. What do you have to say for yourself, Mr. Kearney?
Well, actually, I was up at the Coliseum. I think it was back in the early '90s, and Coach Catlett introduced me because at that time I was leading. I had career block shots, and all the other players looked around and said, "That old man."
Well, it's true. You don't dye your hair. Okay, so that doesn't help your situation.
Would you try to say I dye my hair?
I'm not going there. I'm not sure, Zach. Not doing any talking about myself. All right, but
I had good timing. That's all I got to say. I had
good timing. Well, I'll tell you what. There's a lot to be said about that for sure. And let's get this up here. Start right out, man. Okay, let's take a look. What do we got here? Let me read it off to you. All right. You have WVU has played 16 of his last 26 games against Quad 1 opponents. WVU has 5 wins over Quad 1 opponents. West Virginia has played the 3rd toughest schedule in the country, according to the latest NCAA strength of schedule ratings. 3 out of WVU's remaining opponents are ranked in the AP 20, which obviously is they're going to need. The latest rankings, the Mountaineers are 22nd in the NET, 25th in the BPI, and 38th in the RPI. And they're 20th in the compound rankings. With all that being said, my fellow friends and Mountaineer brothers, Tim, let's start off with you. What does that mean to going forward to getting in the dance?
I'll keep it clean. It doesn't mean crap because these ratings, I really don't think they mean anything. I mean, if you look at the Big 12, it's the toughest conference. I mean, every day is a battle. I mean, anybody can win. I mean, I know we're going to touch base on it, but, Texas Tech, when they played Texas, and Texas beat the crap out of us. But then again, Texas Tech, they won the game. Anything can happen at any given time in this league. It's a tough league. That's the bottom line.
Yes, it is. All right, so, Jay West, you heard all of that. What's your stock in there? Because it's going to help now when you think about it. If you don't have the best of record and you're trying to get the dance, and obviously you're going to have a decent showing in the Big 12, but, it goes all back to even if you're out of conference straight to schedule. So, what is it telling you?
I agree with what Tim said. The good thing for us is obviously we are a much, much better team at home, and we have 3 of the next 5 at home. We have to take care of business at home. I think when you go back and look at the win against Auburn, I think the Auburn win is going to help us, or hopefully it carries some weight. We need Auburn. We need to be the Auburn Tigers' biggest fans and hope that they win some games and get in the top, stay in the top 5 of the SEC, so that our win could help. Same as Pittsburgh. Those 2 wins are the most probably 2 most important wins that we have on our schedule this year, because Pittsburgh is currently number 1 or top 3 in the ACC, and Auburn is top 5 SEC. We won both of those games, so that's crucial for us. But we definitely need to win these home games. Wolf, you might know this. I don't know how much. I know there is some, when they're looking at the schedule, how many games you win at home and how many you win on the road. I don't know exactly how much they put stock into that, but obviously we play better at home, so we need to take care of business at home. But I don't know if they're going to penalize us for our road
wares. Yeah.
Right.
You know what? I think they take a look at the overall picture. I don't know if they're putting too much into that, because I think you just have to look at it's a round robin thing, man.
Right.
And everyone's playing the same amount, same teams. When you think about it, so you took down the number 1 team in the ACC currently. You took down the number 3 team in the SEC. You see the Big 12, Oklahoma beat Alabama. I mean, when you look at it, you're looking at a wide spread of things. I think that it's going to be that out-of-conference schedule that's really going to help them when you look at the losses in the in-conference. And Darryl Prue, what does that tell you about the Big 12, man, honestly, when you've seen what's gone down? You've seen the Big 12 play other schools in the SEC and all that. What do you think of the Big 12, and what do you think of the wins and losses for WVU?
I mean, the Big 12 it's the old Big East. Like even when Virginia Tech was in the Big East, they were in the bottom half. They go to ACC, they top 5. You know what I mean? So it's the old Big East. Like if we put West Virginia in another conference, it'd be a different story. Look how most of the teams in the Big 12 wiped out the SEC. And they all top 5, top 10 teams. And I just think, we started off bad. You know what I mean? Like, we just started off bad in the Big 12. We went 0-6, and now we just been trying to climb the mountain, and or how you say, go up the escalator, and the escalator down, you're trying to go up, and you just keep running in the same place. And I think that's what's happened. And I think, this past weekend, Saturday was one of the worst games of the year. Then they come back. I thought they played okay against Baylor. They were at home. They made some shots. It would have been a different outcome. 15 point loss doesn't see how that game really went if you was watching the game. But then I think we got 15 wins right now. If we get to 18 to 19, I think we have a good chance of getting into the tournament. We got 3 of the next 5 at home. If we take care at home and still 1 on the road, I like our chances. That's going into the tournament. If we win 1 or 2 in the tournament, I think we get a spot. I'm sure we're better than some of the 10th and 11th seeded teams that's in the NCAA.
Okay, so that takes care of the in-conference, out-of-conference. Let's talk about Baylor. Let's talk about this. This really struck my attention. And this is Bob Huggins, and I'm quoting him. He said, I couldn't get them to run what we wanted them to run. He said the first half offensive struggles against the zone. They were just standing out there. He says it's really pretty simple stuff. You dive, you seal, you cut it above the seal, and you're wide open at 10 feet. Please, somebody, I'll say, Jarrod West, could you explain that to me, what that means to the layman?
Just basically, they run a WVU. Hugs is known for attacking the paint on his zone offense. The big guy goes and pins the center, and then someone flashes behind him to like the soft spot in the middle of the zone, around the 10 feet area, around the mid post. Hugs likes to have 3 people in the paint against the zone, and I'm assuming he's just saying that we stood around the 3-point line and shot threes and wasn't physical. So as you see, sometimes our spacing is looked at as bad spacing against the zone, but schematically, that's what Hugs is designing. He wants us to pound the paint. He wants the body to always occupy the defensive center, and then our forwards to kind of flash in that soft spot, which creates an open void to have that little 10-foot face-up jump shot or a little down or a little high-low action. So that's what he's referring to.
Okay, so Tim Kearney, he says you can't run it. They're just standing around. What do you do? How do you fix that besides tell them or, whatever you have to do? How would you fix it? Let's put it that way. How would you do it?
Stick of dynamite. No, but Jarrod was right. That there was no movement. The spacing was incorrect. The guys just looked flat. As far as overall, they were shooting the ball all right, but I think from perspective of what Baylor shot and what we shot, they were getting there, but it wasn't all the way there like they played against Oklahoma, where they were just all out, and I can't say the word, but they were all out. Okay.
All right, then I'm just going to go to you, DP. And, DP, I'm going to go to you, buddy, and I'm going to say, hey, do you sub? You're a coach. You were a coach. You are a coach. What are you going to do to fix that problem? Because you still got some really important games to go.
I'm gonna say this. I might get some backlash, but I don't think they were prepared for that zone. That's what it looked like. Because we all talked about, they was gonna play man, and they junked it up on us. And it wasn't a traditional zone. It was they junked it up a little bit, and you got to run your man stuff sometimes against those zones. Did you play against Jarrod? Did you play against Notre Dame when you was in the Big East?
Yeah, Pat Garrity, those guys.
Yeah. So what Notre Dame would do, they would let you shoot that jump shot between the foul line and the center, banking on you gonna miss that shot.
It's a tough shot.
It's a tough shot. It's a tough shot. I think Trey Mitchell does a good job at it, but sometimes he looks uncomfortable. People get uncomfortable in that position because that's a passing position, that's a playmaking position, and that's a scoring position. And if you're not comfortable in that position, you're not going to be good at it. I think Mitchell is comfortable if he catches and shoot it, because when he tried to do it against Texas, they were taking the ball from him. You know what I mean? So they're coming off that game, you know, and I don't know how prepared the kids were for that zone because they junked it up and never could figure it out. Or I don't know if coach was saying whatever he was saying, they wasn't adjusting. But like the answer to your question, Dale, yes, put somebody else in there and see what they do. Yeah.
And Darryl, I got a question for Darryl and Jarrod both. I mean, you know, when Temple was notorious for the 1-3-1 zone that they always played against us. But if you knew how to attack that zone, you can attack a zone defense easier, I think, than a man-to-man defense.
Nowadays, these zones are hard because these kids don't know how to play without the ball. Right. They always dribbling, so they can't. You know, it's hard. So let's go back to this. We always talk about Bell scoring and giving Bell the ball. They can't even make a pass to Bell in the post one-on-one when he has a guy behind him. So how do we expect them to do that when there's a zone? They got all kind of hands in there. So that's the first issue. It's not the drawing up the plays. It's the playmaking ability of our guys not being able to see where to move, find an open spot, make the play, a pass to the open spot, how to pass. Right. You know what I mean? I think Jim came on last week and said we can't make the pass to a guy in an open jump shot because it's always off. You know what I mean? So it's like, you know, all that happened in this game. You know what I mean? So, you know, the guys can't make, it's 4 guys in the paint, and we can't make a pass when the guy's behind the guy in the paint. So, you know, that's what the problem is. It's not what Huggy's drawing up.
Darryl, as a big man posting up and try to bust my ass to get open, and I don't get the ball, I'm going to get pissed. And I know you went through the same thing too.
No, I didn't, because I'll fight the guy in the locker room after the game, or I'll get the rebound.
You fight him at halftime. That's not true.
I'll get the rebound, and I'll take it to full court myself.
So here you go. All right, you said it as you'd get him out, you'd change out. It looks like Huggins tried to do some over the weekend against Texas, and of course against Baylor. And here's some youngins. You know, there's the good things about the youngins, and there's probably not some good things. Here you go. Check
before we start, go back to the beginning of it. Go back to the beginning. Look at the spacing. 4 guys is checking 3. There's no spacing. 3 guys on one side jamming each other up. He's under the basket. You know, that's what Jarrod said before. The spacing is terrible. Go ahead.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
Well, maybe that's because you got some young guys in. So I'm trying to show it. You got young guys in, but you pay a price to have young guys in as well. Is what I'm saying. They're learning. They got good things. They got good abilities. You saw Sumanek in there. He scored, 7 points against Texas. You see Oquanko. He just keeps getting better and better. But even still, he will turn the ball over and make mistakes. So what I'm trying to get at is Bob Huggins said they weren't doing what you had to the first half, but you get good with the youngins. You also get some bad. Go ahead, Jarrod. We'll go with that.
On those 2 little clippers right there, Baylor was playing man-to-man, and they did a good job at the end of the play getting to a ball screen. Toussaint was patient, threw the lob twice, got the bigs to the basket. They made 2 layups. Here, I like Sumanek. He played with high energy, got the big block. Oquango, those young kids, Wagu, Muhammad, all those kids, I think they bring a lot of intensity, energy to the team. And Hug's got his hands full because down the stretch you're trying to win, but you're also trying to give time to the guys who are producing. So we're going to have to find out. It's going to be a game by game basis. To be honest with you, who's producing? Because, like you say, you got to take the good with the bad. High energy, but some turnovers, some bad spacing, some bad shots. That's what you get when you're playing a mixture of young guys. So missed assignment right there. But like I said, I like Sumanek. I like Oquango. Those guys bring a lot of intensity to the floor.
Well, let me ask you this then, Tim. What's the fine line? How much do you play him? How much do you not? I've been saying, listen, I think Oquango James needs to play 14 minutes a game. I'm not the coach and I'm not the legend. What do you think?
No, I agree. I mean, we need to get these young guys. I mean, they're between who's it, Wagyu and also the other one. What's that?
Oquango.
Yeah. They're playing well. Put them in the game. Bell hadn't stepped up. he hadn't done, really anything in the last couple games. Put these guys in there. That's what I, and and some of the younger guards as well. I mean, between Toussaint and Wilson, those guys, we're going to have to get them in the game because I'll tell you right now, Texas Tech, they've got some guards. If we don't stay up with them, it's not going to be a good night or a good day for West Virginia.
Yeah, we'll get to Texas Tech, but you're right, Tim, about that. And they're firing on cylinders that they weren't firing when the first time the Mountaineers played them. Well, but let's just say, all right, you got these guys. I like what Jim Smollers said last week. You have 15 fouls, he looks at it with the bigs, because he has the depth to go ahead and do 15 fouls. Why aren't they playing more bigs?
Honestly, to go back to the question you asked those two, Jarrod and Tim, it's about development. Like those guys are, they bring energy. So now what else are you giving them? Are you giving them one post move? Are you helping them work on that little face-up jump shot this Wagyu just hit? You know what I mean? Sometimes you got to turn. You can turn a high energy guy into an effective player, and I don't think that's what we're doing right now. I don't know. It doesn't look like it because nobody has done anything different from what they've done from the beginning of the year. We had a guy like that at Georgetown. Julian Vaughn didn't play. Coach didn't like him. I made him serviceable so we can move Greg Monroe to the forward, and we were bigger. It helps. Now Julian can make one move. He can make one, over the left shoulder, over the right shoulder. He can hit a 10-foot shot. I don't know what these guys just out there. They so frantic. They make mistakes because they don't know what to do when they get the ball in certain situations. You just can't. Like what we did back in the 80s was, as an offense, we took only the shots that we thought the coaches thought that we were going to get in the offense. We didn't work on individual plays or individual moves. At that level with those guys, you got to give them at least one move and a counter so they can get better. You do that with the guards. The guards got all these moves, but they don't do that with the post players. So now to answer your question, I think sometimes where's this other guy come from? Sanu, because he ain't bad.
No,
I like him.
Subanek.
Yeah, I'm like,
okay.
Has he been on the bench all year? Like, what's going on? Because you put him and Carnu together, and I'm like, whoa. I'm like,
right?
The high energy, attacking the rim. I take my lumps with those two and let everybody else shoot. You know what I mean? Like, make them go clean it up. You know what I mean? I just think, we have to. Sometimes we, as coaches, we rely on guys who've been scoring points for us. Sometimes we gotta go with the dirty guys that's going to go out there and bang and knock people down, block shots, rebound, do all the little small things that get you another shot.
Well, what I think about it is that I think he's got to do some real coaching there and pick when to play, when not to play, and I think that's why he makes the big bucks. So I'm not going to worry about it. But I'm just going to say
that's on the staff. That's on the staff.
And guys, I don't know if you've gone through this before, but I mean, from my perspective, when I played back there, every time you did something wrong, you looked at the bench to see who's coming in for you. The coach need to give them a little time.
But that's the staff. The staff has to have a say or mention. So when I was with Georgetown, first year, Rory Hibbert would start, play a couple minutes, John would take him out, and don't play him again until the second half. So I'm like, John, why you take him out? Why you don't put him back in? He said, I pretty much forgot about him. I said, well, he changes the game. And I said, nobody knows. He's 7'2". Nobody knows he's not a shot blocker. When he catches the ball, nobody knows he can't score. I was like, but they double him. They throwing up shots. I was like, okay. And then, if something's going on, it just, we had another coach didn't want to play him and wanted to play Jeff Greenstein. And because the offensive flow better. I was like, well, he's 7'2". Why not be one of the bigger teams in the league and have both of them in the game at the same time? And I think that's what we got to look at. I know this new age and scoring and running down court and having these stretch fours, but I think this team looks better if you have those two guys in there fighting and you play the other three. You know what I mean? Let the other three do what they do. We're not getting a lot of scoring out that big forward anyway, so move him to the three.
Especially if Mitchell's not scoring.
Right, yeah. So give me that. That's what's his name, Saku and O. And Waku, you know
Well,
what I mean?
you were
Throw a little
you
bit
were
of
just
bell.
killing these names, brother.
Yeah,
They
a little
kill
bit of
them.
bell. And a nice pasta salad right there, you know?
All right, well, listen. So we're going to move this on. We're going to go with Emmett Matthews, 17 points, 5 rebounds. In the last 3 games, he's had 20, 13, and 17. He is scoring. I do like the way that he does cut more to the basket. You know, how did you get that to do that more consistently, or is he cutting enough for you? And I'm going to go Tim Kearney first. Kearney. Sorry.
You threw it on my name, don't you, Dale?
Oh,
No,
I tell you, I'll get it right.
No, Emmett's he's looking better, but I think you know, and we brought this up before. You know, Darryl, you know, and he needs to get more physical. I mean, yeah, he's cutting the basket, he's making points, getting rebounds, but I'd like to see him just get a little more physical. And I don't know, you know, if he has that body type to do that, but still, I mean, he's coming around. I hope it continues, but. You know, you got other guys need to step up too. I mean, you got Stevenson and everybody else. They need to step up. It can't just be Matthews now. It's got to be, you know, it's got to be 2 or 3 guys to step up for every game, not just one.
Well, that's the real problem when it's only just one. And I'll say, hey, Jay West, what do you have to say with Emmett there? What he's been doing is contributing. And does he need to contribute more, or does he need to be more of a leader to get more involved? Well, what's going on?
Listen, I'm very, very pleased with what Emmett's done the last 3 games compared to what he was doing earlier. All year we've been talking about the pecking order of Stevenson, Mitchell, and Matthews, and Emmett wasn't pulling his weight. In the last 3 games, I mean, I think he's played, A+, A+, A+. He's played great. He's played with confidence. He shot the ball well. He's been way more active. We need him to continue to do what he's done the last 3 games. I think he's done his job the last 3 games. Now we need Mitchell to do his job. And we need Stevenson can't be so high risk, high reward. Like some games he scores 30 and some games he scores 2. We need him to consistently get 16 to 20. If he consistently gets his 16 to 20 and Mitchell and Emmett consistently get their 12 to 16, now Keedy, Toussaint, all the bigs, now that's the gravy. You know, they're bringing the gravy. We're just we're just so unpredictable. You don't know who's gonna show up, who's gonna, you know, get their shot. You just don't know. And I think a lot of that goes back to, I know I talked about our point guard situation. I like both of those guys, Keedy and Toussaint, but I think the most important role of the point guard is, you know, you got to guarantee Stevenson to get his 12 shots. You got to guarantee Mitchell gets his 10 shots. You got to guarantee Emmett gets his 10 shots. Then after that, then the rest of the guys get the scraps that's left over. We're just very unpredictable from that standpoint, and I think it rears its ugly head and it shows in inopportune times because you know, guys are just unpredictable. But Emmett, I think Emmett's played great the last 3 games, and that has nothing to do with what Huggs is doing. It's all Emmett. Emmett has to choose to be aggressive, confident, and I'm going to push the envelope. And he's done that the last 3 games to his credit.
I agree 100%.
So Trey's got to do that as well, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Same thing with Trey. Okay, so let's stand there for one quick second. I want to ask you this. Toussaint scored 11 straight points. He came off the bench, scored 11 straight points. But at times, he seems like he can rush it. I kind of made a joke of because like me in a bowl in a china shop, there's not anybody there's nobody he won't hit in an opposing jersey. Does he rush things at times? Jay West.
Oh yes. I mean, once again, I know, and every time I've been on here, people might listen to be like, he's really hard on Toussaint or whatever. He's playing well or whatever. But my thing is, I understand basketball. I understand that Toussaint is the 5th or 6th person on the scouting report. So sometimes he's getting shots and he's making them because they're not really worried about him. But you've seen in the last 4 or 5 games, he's looking to be a scorer, and we don't need him to be a scorer. And what happens is now, the game against Texas, he probably took 5 shots. They were all horrible shots, and they were all bad turnovers, and they lead to runouts. That's not what a point guard is supposed to do. Like he should be the 5th, 6th guy on the scouting report. If he gets a shot, it's at the end of the shot clock or off a ball screen. He should never try to initiate or score offense without the other 3 guys touching the ball. And I think that what happened, he had a little success early in the season, but I call that like fake. That's like fake gold. But now it's kind of you're seeing some bad situations. I just think he has to be a little more patient. Allow other guys to initiate offense. Now, if we go inside outside and he's the recipient of a double team and he's wide open, by all means take that shot. But I think he's just trying to do way, way too much offensively, and it's hurting us.
And he's better when him and O in that pick and roll and O diving hard, he gets in the lane and throws it up to him. That's when he's at his best.
Yes.
All right.
I think it's more being under control. I mean, the guy.
But he's a senior now. He's like a fifth-year senior. That's his game. He can't play no other way. You know what I mean? Like, so he has to be structured. He has to be that, like what Jarrod's saying. He plays that way, but he has to be the guy that always thinking about himself. You know what I mean? Because when he gets in the game, he's always thinking about himself. When he's doing that high pick and roll with O, and O runs to that rim, he throws it up every time for him. He plays different when O's in the game with him. He rolling, so he has to keep doing that. So he just can't be just out there just doing anything. He just like against Texas, like Jarrod said. All of a sudden it's a 10-point game because he's missing 5 shots and missing 3-4 shots and having 2 or 3 turnovers. So then they running out and they're getting threes and dunks. That changes the game.
All right. Well, very good. I want to get back to Trey here because he did some good things here in the game. And I want to know this. And Tim, this is here, Trey Mitchell. There's times when he looks like he could be an All-American. I mean, we get it right here. We talked about going from high to low last week, and he did it. You see it there. Well, his game, he could be brilliant. Look at the steal here. I mean, that's a big-time boom. That's exciting. That's physical basketball. Right there, the pass to Jimmy Bell. I mean, he's got all the talent, man.
He does. He's got a lot of talent, and we need him to step up to, especially with these last 5 games coming up. But it's just got to be more consistent. The guy can move. There's no doubt about it. He's very athletic, and I like his game, but he's got to be more consistent on what he's doing.
DP.
I mean, I just think, I don't know what kind of motor. He don't have a motor. You can't turn guys up. We had a guy like that at Georgetown. I don't want to name his name, but he can, one of the best talents we had. But, it'll be games where he just coasting through it, and in games he'll explode. We got to wait on him. I'd rather turn somebody down than turn somebody up. And he has not turned up all year. You know what I mean? So, and we keep talking about his talent. We was talking about Emmett. Emmett playing like he only got a few games left. That's how Emmett's playing right now. He only got a few games left. That's how you got to play. You're a senior. You out there. You could make plays. You can. I think he's a little stiff. Trey Mitchell is, and that's why he don't drive as much. But he don't bend down, bend his knees. But I just don't think. He got to want to. You know what I mean? It's all with him, and Matthews is just wanting to. And I think Matthews lately has wanting to play better, you know what I mean, and play harder. He's not going to be physical that much. No offense to Jay West, but Jay West might weigh way more than him right now. You know what I mean? So, you know what I mean? Like, but he's playing harder now. He's sticking his nose in there a little bit. You know what I mean? Now, if Mitchell does it, we'd be so much better. You know what I mean? Then we play them 2 guys off the bench. The 2 light-skinned boys. That's what I'm gonna call them. The 2 light-skinned boys. They playing their butts off. I ain't know Saku was that that physical that he moves.
Who?
Subanek.
Yeah, Subanek. Yeah, exactly. I don't get a chance to get his name because he never plays. You know what I mean? So, yeah, but he's I like him.
You're right. You're right, Darryl. I do too, and also Okinawa, whatever. I know I screw up his name every time I say it. And also Muhammad coming in too. I mean, there's some guys coming off the bench can make a big impact, and I don't know overall if you look at what's coming up with Texas Tech, but they don't have any bench power. They really don't.
Yeah.
All right, so let's do one last thing here, and I wanted to get at this. Baylor hit 14 3-pointers, and I want to know, Jay West, is it because they are incredible shooting, or is it because they had open shots? And just go ahead. Tell me what your thoughts were on this, because they scored a lot of points. They actually scored 2 more 3-pointers than they did field goals for 2 points.
Listen, I'm looking at those first 2 clips.
Yeah.
And when I tell you the defense is optionable, Wolf, I mean, that's just bad. Scouting report, coming off 2 pin-down screens, you're playing against 3-point shooters. You're taught to run them off the line. How do you run them off the line? You trail the screen, and you force them to the big. Those first 2 clips, guys are trying to slide under the screen. You're giving up wide open threes. Now, this guy did a good job of trailing that screen right there. Good job. Good. They blitzed it. That's just good offense right there. That's good offense beating good defense. But at least it wasn't on the first pass like the first 2 clips. Just here, wide open shot. Like that's just horrible defense.
He took Bell out after that. He took Bell out after that one.
Yeah, flare screen Stevenson going under the screen again. You got to go over top of the screen.
Yeah, and look who's coming out to guard him.
That right there, that's ball screen. Actually, that's 5 people having to be on the string right there. So, I mean, some of it is bad defense. Some of it is just, Baylor moving the ball. That's good offense right there. That ball went from side. That's hard to defend right there.
Well, they spread the defenses on top of that. I mean, they're spreading defense, which is what we should be doing.
Yeah.
As well as you got Bell coming out to contest a 3-point play. I mean, there's something screwed up there on the defensive side.
Well, you just said it. You just said it, Tim. Like, and Jarrod said it earlier. Our zone offense is 3 guys in the paint.
Yep.
We got 3 guys in the paint, and we can't spread it out because there's only 2 guys on a wing. You know what I mean? So, what I mean? Like, it's movement, it's penetration, passing. Things we don't do. We don't penetrate well. We don't pass it well. So we can't really do it because they don't want to do it or can't. It's just a whole lot of different things that, like system-wise, player-wise, it's just not reading up. You know what I mean? And we're still trying to fix things in February. We're about to be in March. You can't keep fixing it, and then the season's going to be over. And we can talk about we have all the ideas. You know what I mean? And so
it's got to be fixed now. You can't wait for more.
At some point, we got to get it.
Screwed. Yeah.
All right, gentlemen, thank you so much. That is our look at the Baylor Bears. Before we move on to the Texas Tech Red Raiders, we're doing the Team WolfMan, the Special Olympics West Virginia Polar Plunge, baby, next Saturday. And I don't know what happened there. My thing went off. Right there. There you go. Okay, so you see that. Hey, we're teaming up with Country Roads Trust, Parmar Stores. We got Dan Cavan's Toyota World. We have Wilson Martino Denim. And we have Artisan Grange, man. Switch to hemp, just the dip. And we got Stationaires, Champions, and the 3 Wolves of Football all teaming up. Special Olympics West Virginia. Danny Cav, I love you, brothers. Dan Cavan, Toyota World. Bobby Martino, Wilson Martino, getting it done. Parmar Stores. If there's not a Parmar store near you now, there will be one soon. Woo! Keep it going, baby. We love all these sponsors. Yes, thank you so much. This is Mountaineer Hardcourt Legends, and this is for the Special Olympics West Virginia. By golly, we're going to rip in and do a belly flop right in the cheat lake at Dockside Grill next Saturday at 1 o'clock. Thank you very much. Now, back to your regularly scheduled program.
Hey, Dale.
Yes.
Dale, you going to show up there at Cheat Lake?
Oh, of course. It's Team WolfMan, baby. I've been doing that for, I don't know, too many years, I think.
When is the Special Olympics?
What's that?
When is the Special Olympics thing? Next week?
Next Saturday, yeah.
Oh, man.
I'll still be here for the game. Why? You going to make it?
That's my birthday. I have something else. That's my birthday.
Well, don't worry. Get your birthday going, man. Get you in there a little dip. Special Olympics, West Virginia. Woo! All right. It's a little chilly, bro, but hey, it's not bad now compared to what it has been in the past. But let's get back to the Texas Tech Red Raiders. And, of course, they are playing much better, winning 4 of 6. They're 14-12, 3-10. But, man, they just took down the Texas Longhorns. And, Tim Kearney, I'm going to go with you to start this off. Tell me what you think of this team. The Mountaineers being the first time. They had probably, we talked earlier before the program, they're a little bit different team.
Now I think they're on a roll. I mean, the guards are playing well. The big man, I was watching clips on him. I mean, he's playing well. But like I said, I mean, that's pretty much, they're starting high up. They're not getting a whole lot of support off the bench. So I think if we, work on them, try to get them in foul trouble, it might be to our advantage. But right now, yeah, Texas Tech is playing some good basketball. I mean, they're doing a lot of penetration and they're dishing off very well. I mean, the assist, this is from the starting five. But like I said, I mean, if we get some of these guys in foul trouble, I think we'll be in better shape.
Jay West, let me ask you, man. You got Kevin O'Banner, big forward there. He's leading the team with averaging 15 points per game. He had 19 against Texas. You got a big guy there, Amac. He had 12. Devian Harmon, he had 25. You got Jalen Tyson. I'll tell you what, those guards, Jalen Tyson and the other guards, they're 6'6", 6'7". I mean, those are big. So they got 3 guards, two forwards, 2 bigs in there. What are you seeing for these guys as of late?
Obviously, O'Banner's their guy. When he plays well, they're a lot better. He's a stretch 4. He's an inside-outside guy, but he can shoot it. Harmon is a seasoned veteran. He's been in college for a while, and kind of like Matthews, he kind of knows it's time to step up. Tyson has been playing pretty well for him, and the big guy also. I'm looking down at. Looks like that they've been struggling in the past to try to find some success. So looks like the coaches made some changes, and they said this is the first time this group started together. So they're kind of like in the same boat as us. They're playing desperate basketball, and like we're saying, we need to take care of business at home and maybe squeak or steal one on the road. They're in their locker room saying the same thing. We need to, if they can sneak one out on the road today, that'll be monumental for their season. So. They're going to play desperate today when they come in. I do think that WVU, I think this is a great matchup for us. I think if we play well and let the home crowd help us, I think we should beat these guys pretty handily. We match up very, very well with them. They don't have dynamic, players. Like O'Banner's a good guy. Harmon's a good guy, but they don't have dynamic players. And at home, I think we'll be able to match with them well defensively. But it's hard to prepare for a desperate team. And, like I said, last game was the first time that starter unit played together. So their coach is trying to push some buttons to get some success. They found some success against Texas. So we got to really come out and put the smack down on them early and let the crowd kind of get on their back a little bit. But I think we will be very, very successful today.
DP, according to the stats there, this is their 7th starting lineup. So what Jay West just said, they're playing desperate. They're trying to figure out who they are. This is their 7th time different starting lineup this season. And, of course, what did you see when you look at this team as opposed – because last game – Banner I think had 19 and Harmon had 14, and they're still doing that because Banner he's averaging 15 points a game and 14 points for Harmon, 23. So what are you seeing, man, from the last time?
I think the big fella didn't play. What was his name?
Imac.
Yeah, Imac. Imac didn't play the last game. So I think that was the key. So they had to go to their bench. So now, you lose that and you go dig deep into your bench. Now you're weaker. I think they were still trying to find their way when we caught them at the right time. It was a win we should have had. But now they got the big guy. He can score inside, and if O'Bannon's playing inside, he can shoot a jump. He can shoot the 3. So he's skilled. You know what I mean. He don't move as well, but I think these guys are steady. Now,
this is Harmon right here at his run of 25 points. Yeah. I just want you to check it out. And Tim, I'm going to be coming at you with the big man player shortly. But go ahead. Just what are you seeing here with this? I thought 25. I thought he looked pretty fantastic against Texas. But everybody can have a good night.
Well, he's at home. Like we do things better at home. You know what I mean? He's a scorer. The guys let him score. He walked into a 3-point. He's open here. You know what I mean? He's getting it out. Yeah, he's at home. He's attacking in the fast break. He was doing what he's supposed to be doing. So,
Can you play that style away?
I mean, I don't. Guys, you don't play the same. So we'll see. Unless you're like Jarrod said, you're one of the elite guys. You can play it anywhere. Elite guys can go into another arena and do the same thing they do at home. Hopefully, we'll play a little better defense than Texas was on him. But this right here, just a good shot. He's at home. You know what I mean? He's just feeling it. So we can't let them guys get in the rhythm. If we let guys get in the rhythm, they're going to hit all kind of shots.
Right. Okay. So, Jay West, what do you see there? And let me ask you this, just real quick before we even get to that. Jay West, what do you think about the fact that West Virginia is the way they've been struggling, and today's a sellout, number one, against a team that's as desperate as West Virginia is? That's incredible.
Oh, listen, I've stated millions of times, is no WVU fans are the best, and you've heard me say this on this show several times. Listen, I'm no dummy. We won a lot of games in college because of that crowd, and I was a hype man, so I always got the crowd up. So I mean, I know the importance of the crowd. I've heard them talk about Khalid El-Amin like a little. I mean, I felt bad for the kid. So, I mean, I know what the crowd can do. And obviously on the road, that some teams have crowds just as good as ours. But like our crowd being sold out today, listen, that doesn't surprise me one bit. West Virginia fans are unbelievable. You'll never hear me say one bad word about the crowd.
All right. So Tim, let me go to you. Should we go ahead and when these guys get here?
Let me off of what Jarrod just said, and he is 120% correct. I was there when we played UNLV. When we played on national TV, the fans broke down the doors to get into the Coliseum, and that was the best experience of my life when I played UNLV and we beat them on national TV. Those fans we do have the best fans, and Jarrod is 120% correct.
Very good. Okay, so let me just continue that question. If you, since there's such a big difference in home and away, how do you approach them in a mentality wise? When you say I get a kid first time on campus, a freshman, I say, listen, man, the way we play is this. I want you to know that when we play away, it's the same thing as home. Even if you got to take them to a psychologist or something, how do you go ahead and get in their brains that it doesn't matter if you're home or away, you play the same? I mean, is there something to that, or am I,
No. You just you preach the same stuff. You preach the same stuff. It's just the kid. You know what I mean? Like some are tougher, some are mentally tougher. You know what I mean? And it's just the makeup of the kid. You can't. We could say basketball is basketball. It's just noise. You know what I mean? All the people in the stands are just noise. And some people can handle it, some people can't. They have their anxieties and whatever. But at the end of the day, you just gotta toughen up. And that's why, in this society is a little different than when, Jarrod played and Tim and I. You know what I mean? Like we did, I kind of wanted to shut the crowd up. I like shutting them up. You know what I mean? Like, I ain't had to gesture every time I made a shot. I didn't have to celebrate every time I made a shot. I got a steal. I just wanted it to be quiet. So, we did things to make them quiet.
All right, Jay West, you have something to say.
I think the most important thing on the road, and I'm not saying this because I'm a point guard, but leadership on the road is so important. Having a floor general or someone who, when they make a run, we need to get a good possession. Who needs to get the ball? We need to run a good set to get a good shot. And I think we lack a true point guard leader on the floor. And it rears its ugly head on the road. As vice versa, at home, the crowd is with you, so everybody's feeling good. Everybody's it doesn't bother you as much. On the road, you like the Texas game, you can see how we crumbled because, and I'm not picking on Joe, but we crumbled because on the road they're making a run, and we come back and take a quick shot, 5 seconds in the shot clock. Nobody else touches the ball. You have to have good leadership. Great point guard play, great guard play in general on the road to, like DP said, silence the crowd. Or at least, even if you don't score, get multiple good shots so we can get back on floor balance. Things like that, because if not, a 6-0 run could turn to a 12-0 run fast, and now you're calling the timeout. So that's the most important thing I would say.
Yeah, I remember back when I think we talked about it before when I played at West Virginia. We was on that 20-something game win streak, and we played Rutgers. I watched it like a year ago, and we were losing. We was down like 10 with like 3 minutes left, but we just kept plugging, and nobody was mad. We just kept plugging. We just kept plugging. It was a senior, junior, senior. That's what we are right now. And we don't plug like that. We don't just like we once we get into a spot. And when I used to scout for John Thompson in Georgetown, I would say they're a feel-good team. A feel-good team means when everything's going well, yeah, they jumping out of boom, boom, boom.
Front runner.
But when things go wrong, oh man, they pointing. It's
Okay.
your fault. It's you. And
Right.
you know, and sometimes we become that, you know, feel-good team. We feel good at home, you know, but then when things go wrong, you know, you didn't do this, you didn't do that, you didn't do this. You see them pointing at each other. You know what I mean? So,
Well, we all know when you start pointing, it's not going well unless you're saying, "Yeah, man." That's the only time it's different.
Exactly.
But Tim Carter, hey Tim, you had something to say? Well, go ahead.
No, I'm just saying. I mean, I was fortunate enough to have, like a Greg Jones. He was running as far as the guard, and then after Greg left, we had Dale Blaney. I mean, Dale was just cool-headed as he still is the same way. He doesn't say a whole lot. He just gets the job done. Greg did the same thing too. Jarrod and Darryl are absolutely correct. We need to have somebody out there who is, running the show, and that's what we need.
Yeah, but they all seniors, like that's what, like we said.
But DP, the reason why I asked the question is this: they're 1-15 on the road in the last 2 years. I mean, there's a real problem here. Okay, it's not. That's why I asked you. Do you get with them first day of camp and say, "Listen, it doesn't matter where you play. It doesn't matter where you play," and you got to believe that. You have to actually ingrain that and train that. It doesn't matter because we're still going to kick your can on this court, on that court. I'll take it on the street if I have to.
Yeah.
All right, but that's the mindset you're trying to get.
It's two things to that. It's one, like some of these teams got pros, NBA players. Two, we're picking players from other teams. It's nobody has been there. Like I told you about what we did as seniors. I was there for 4 years. Herbie was there for 5 years. Chris Berger and Steve Brooks. Chris Brooks and Steve Berger were there for 3 years. So we established that. You know what I mean? Like sometimes it takes time. You know what I mean? You might not get it in your first year. You might, if you bought in, you'll get it your second year, in your third year. Coming in from all over the place.
Okay.
And that team last year was whatever that was. You know what I mean? Just look at Bridges. Look at Bridges. He went away, came back here, and did what he did. If we would have him here doing what he did, you know what I mean? I think we would be, and everybody falling board. It's just like, it's what Tim said early in the year. We got to get these guys together. We got to get them to groom. We got to get them to groom. And it's hard to groom in 1 year when you go to a team that's got 3 pros on there, and you're trying to beat them on the road with their crowds also.
Mm-hmm. Well, those are all great points, and I guess my whole point is this: you're not going to be able to do what you did back in your day when you were there for 5 years, Herbie Brooks, all of that. It doesn't sound, maybe 1 or 2 guys, but not a team for majority like you used to be able to do. So now the current situation, and I'm going to say this, Jay West, the current situation is this: you got Sumine, you got Seth Wilson, you have all these, Wagi, you got Okwako, which he says to me like he ain't going anywhere, but you never know. You have to play these guys now so that they don't go somewhere next year, because that's another problem.
Yes, that is and everybody's dealing with it, Wolf. You're danged if you don't, danged if you do. If you play them a lot and they're not playing to the best of their ability, and you turnovers, bad shots, you lose, and you're saying, well, we're trying to develop them. They still might leave anyway. So you don't know. Coaches nowadays, you got to take it as, hey, it's a 1-year investment. I'm trying to win now and develop as best as I can. If that guy happens to come back next year, great. If he doesn't, hey, I got to get another team. And that's a terrible place to be in, but that's reality. So, I mean, as of now, that's why I was saying Hugs has a lot on his plate. Do I trust Bell, Matthews, and hope that they be aggressive, or do I play the young guys and deal with the lumps of immaturity? It's tough. I don't know what's the right answer. I do know that Sumnik and Akwango, if I'm coaching, they need to get 15 to 20 minutes a game, because their energy has shown that they can get doubles and multiple block shots in a lot and not a lot of time. I'm saying as a coach, those guys are coaches drink. You don't have to run a play for them. Energy infuses amongst the team. So You got to let those guys play.
And
Well,
DP, give Tim Kearney or Carney, give him a chance.
No, yet I agree totally with Jarrod. And right now, this whole transfer portal is like running kinder care. You know, these kids, they get upset. Then all of a sudden they said, "I'm out of here," because they don't get playing time. You know, they don't want to work with the teams, and I'm sick and tired of it. I mean, this is bullshit. I'm sorry, but I'm tired of it.
All right, DP, go ahead, brother.
Yeah, go back on what he said. So now, like, a part of a coach's job is to trick players too. So I'm gonna trick you to stay in. I'm gonna trick Wilson. That's your future. We might not have you might not have all 5 guys that stay, but I want to keep Akanu, I want to keep Wilson, and I want to keep I want to keep.
You got Josiah Harris.
Yeah, I'm like Tim with the name right now.
Subinick. No.
Yeah,
You got these really young guys that are good. And here's the point. Here's the point. Either you play them now, keep them happy, but then what happens if they get good? What happens if everybody starts going,
Hunter from Iowa State.
Yeah, you know what I mean? It's like now you're worried about him taking off, or should we hide him? I mean, that's the battle.
That's where the coaching. That's where the relationships come in. Yep. You know what I mean? That's where the relationships come in. Like, you know, at the end of the day, it's all about relationships. You know, once a guy feels slighted, we all felt slighted in our times, and once these guys feel slighted, you know what I mean, in any kind of way. Sobernay, I don't like. He should have been playing from the beginning. Look how O has gotten better each game. Imagine where Subernay would have been if he'd have played more. You know what I mean? And so I think we panicked. You know, with the seniors, with Trey Mitchell, we need to win. We need to win. And sometimes, and Jarrod knows as a coach, and I'll play a 9th grader minutes here, so he'd be good later for me that year, knowing that he's going to be better for me in a year or two. Sometimes you have to do that as a coach. You have to trust the guy, even if it's a couple minutes in a quarter. If he plays well, you come back to him, give him a couple more minutes. Throw him in there when it's tight just to see how he reacts and give him a chance. You know, those guys, Sobernay didn't get a chance at first. Now he's showing, okay, damn, we might have made a mistake. So guess what? Another school, we're going to call his people and say, yeah, man, they don't really like you. They ain't why they waiting till now? You know what I mean? Like, you gotta do all this stuff early, and your staff has to be on top of it, because if we relax, somebody else is not. So, you know, it's a coach.
It's easy out for all the players now in college.
Well, it just is what it is. You got to deal with it, though. So as a coach, you got to deal with it.
It wasn't that way when I played. If you want to transfer, you got to set out a year and everything else. But
that's 30 years ago. Now we in this climate now. We got to keep. There's other teams keeping players. Yeah. Keeping players. So
all right.
To keep them.
Let's wrap this up. Tim Kearney, okay. I've never seen a pregame crew butcher names as bad as this one has, and that includes me. I can't even my brother Tim here. I keep calling him Kearney. So Tim Kearney. All right. So wrap it up, brother. Tell me what the Mounties got to do today to win, because we all know how important this game is.
Who's first?
You. Right at you.
I'll tell you right now, their guards they're playing very well, and also the big guy there for Texas Tech. I mean, the last clips I've been watching on them, they're penetrating like hell. You need to step it up on the guard side, and then Bell's got it, or whoever's playing against, the big guy, number 11 there, was it?
AMAC.
They've got to put a body on him. This guy's quick. He's got quick feet for his size too. I mean, he moves very well. So we got to make sure we keep a body on him, and we got to make sure we got to keep the guard from penetrating.
Absolutely, because I watched AMAC. I just watched him dribble down the whole court. A big man, 6'11", dribbling down. And speaking of dribbling, there,
I could do that back in my days.
Yeah, well, we're just going to stick with the block shots for you, okay? But, Jay, what do we got to do here for the Mountaineers in your point of view?
I think we just got to be solid, hold the court, and do what we've been doing at home. I think we're going to be fine today. Getting back home after 2 tough road losses, getting smacked at Texas, then losing at Baylor. There's nothing like sleeping in your own bed, getting that crowd behind you. I think we'll be fine today, to be honest with you. I know Texas Tech is desperate. We're going to get back. We're going to play defense. Stevenson's, Matthews, our guys are going to step up. The bench guys are going to play well. It wouldn't surprise me if we win by 20 today. Just getting back at home and playing in front of our crowd. Once again, Harmon had 25 the other day. If you watch the clips, one of them was a 3 off the backboard. One of them was a shot clock shot before the half. So, I mean, he had great – kudos to him. He had a great game. But as a guy who's evaluating, I'm not really – we just got to do what we do. Play good defense, rebound the ball. I think we'll be fine today. I'm not really stressed about today.
Well, when I'm breaking down that film and I see those back off the three-pointer off the backboard, that's like shiny stuff to me.
Yeah.
Like, oh, look over there. There's a bird. Oh, wait a minute. It looks pretty. It's your fool's gold, brother. That's what your fool's gold is.
Right.
Fool's gold. Yeah. All right. I'm catching that. I'm getting it. All right.
The banks are open.
Listen, my most memorable shot is a bank shot, so I'm not down in any bank shot. I'm not saying that at all. But, what I'm saying is if I'm looking at it and I see his 25, I'm not that stressed about it. We just got to do what we've been doing at home.
Yeah,
be lucky than good, right? Be lucky than good.
Yeah, that's right. DP, close it up, brother.
I just think we got West Virginia got to be who they are at home. You know what I mean? Like, and hopefully we can carry it over. Next game. Worry about this game here. I think before you got them 2 games. I'm trying to get back home. We got Texas. Oh man, we got blown out. Now we got to come out here and at least compete against Baylor. And I thought they did a good job against Baylor. This wasn't hitting shots. So if you're not hitting shots, you're not going to beat a team on the road. But I think, we're going to hit shots at home. I think we're going to play with a lot of energy. And, now, if them guys don't play with a lot of energy, now you can go to I'm going to call my butcher's name again, Sagu, and Subanek. Okay, Subanek. If he played more, I probably know his name. I'm doing him like Shaq did the kid that got traded from the Wizards to the Lakers. But I think we have a good chance to win. I think, like Jarrod said, I don't want to jinx it, but I'm going to agree with him without saying it because I don't want to jinx it. And I just think, we have to take care of West Virginia's problem is West Virginia. There's no other teams. So, and like Jarrod said, if they come out and do what they're supposed to do, if West Virginia comes out and do what they're supposed to do, we'll be fine. And thank you, Robert. Pod.
Turnovers, stop them. That's another big thing.
All right, turnovers, stop them. Okay. Anybody else have anything for the betterment of the show?
Robert Pod Bassett. I'm butchering your name too, sir. Thank you
it's Pod Bessick, number 1. He was, I want to say 69, 70. He was part of the Peach Bowl football team. He's a big basketball guy, even though he's football. So that's what we like. It doesn't matter, does it? Mountaineers, we're all both. Yep.
I was a big football guy when I played basketball, so it was the same thing.
Yeah, well, you know what? You could have played football, but you turned it down. Who was it? Wayne Yearwood went up there. Yeah.
He never got in the game. That's why I didn't try. and all the D-backs was telling me they was taking shots in practice. I was like, nah, y'all ain't getting me.
All right. Okay, well, folks, thank you so much. And let's go, Mountaineers. Hey, we got to beat Texas Tech. Let's get it going. Got to get to the Big 12, do big success there. First, we got to win some games. I want to steal one on the road. I really want, you know what? Well, how great would that be to steal one on the road to head into the Big 12? Right? Would that be great?
I think we'll get one. I think we'll get one on the road.
All right. Fair enough. Gentlemen, we will see you in the future for the next game, Monday night.
Okay, and Dale, one more thing. I'm still waiting on my pepperoni rolls.
It's on the way. My friend. Hey, just so Jay West is right there next to the pepperoni rolls now.
Yeah. nice hot and fresh every Sunday morning. Hot and fresh.
All right.
Wolfie, get Parmar Stores to send him a box of
pepperoni. All right, we're gonna get Parmar pepperoni rolls right to your doorstep, brother.
Okay.
Destined for greatness. My name is written in stars, and I will give everything, all that I have have to the cause. Fight against evil, run through the pain, battle it all, this is more than a game. I am a lion and I can't be tamed, it's how it was made, this ice in my veins, run through it all. No matter the odds, I will answer the call. The enemy knocks on the door. Even the greatest among us will fall, but the greatest will get back up. So I won't back down, and I won't give up, and I will act now, and I will stand up. They know that I'm here for it all. Rise up, no matter what's in my way. Rise up, I will do what it takes. I will keep on fighting. I'll rise through it all. Rise up, no matter what's in my way. Rise up, I will do what it takes. I will keep on fighting. I'll rise through it all. Rise up.
No matter what it is you need, you'll find it at your local Par-Mar store. From gas to grocery, snacks, and everything else you always seem to run out of, Par-Mar Stores has it. Need more savings? Download the Par-Mar app and sign up for the Par-Mar Rewards Card. You won't only see our stores in your neighborhoods, you'll see us in your neighborhoods too. We are proud to be in your town and proud to be a part of the community. Come see us at Par-Mar Stores, and remember, if there's not a Par-Mar store near you now, there will be soon.
Wilson Martino Dental. Did you know that 95% of our dentists have graduated from WVU? And many former players and WVU coaches trust Wilson Martino Dental with their oral health. The Mountaineers and Wilson Martino Dental. Yeah, we do that.